right, well, welcome everybody. Stephen Michael Miller here with Strongbrook, one of the co-founders of Strongbrook, and I'm so glad that you're here joining us, everyone here in the room as well as everyone that's joining us online. I want to thank you for your patience. We got started just a few minutes late today, had some technical difficulties, some things that we were working through, and finally got up and running, and so now you're able to see what we're doing here. But I'm really grateful that you are here. One of the things that I've recognized in life is that we all have resources available to us, whatever they might be, and I like to break them down into three different types of resources. We have time, we have energy, and we have money, right? Those are our three resources, really. And I think a lot of people go through life feeling like money is their most valuable, and they act like it anyway, right? We're constantly chasing the next dollar, the next paycheck, the next job. But the thing that I've become more and more clear with is that money isn't the most valuable. Money can be replenished. You spend it and you can earn it again. Energy, same thing. You can spend all of your energy, be really tired at the end of the day, go back to sleep, and you'll get it all back, right? You get more energy or eat some food. But time is an extremely valuable resource. It is the most valuable resource, and it's the one thing that we won't get back. So the fact that you're spending some time here with me tonight is something that I am extremely grateful for, so I really appreciate that. As we get started today, if you have something to take some notes on, go ahead and pull that out. You're going to want it. You're going to want to take some notes. Maybe if you've got a phone or a device that you take notes on as well, I'm okay with that. But go ahead and get that ready and set. And I want to start with asking you a question. I oftentimes will start with a story of mine, but I want to ask you some questions because I want to get you very clear on why you're here. So let me ask you the question. Why are you here? What is it that you hope to accomplish? No matter where I go, and I've traveled all across the nation and in different parts of the world as I've gone and spoken to people about financial freedom, about creating wealth in their life. And almost without fail, wherever I go, I'll get one or two people in a room that are the skeptics. You know them, right? The guys or girls that are in the back of the room, they're just kind of just sitting back in their chair, leaning and crouching, and they got their arms folded. They're kind of glaring at me with that skeptic view, And it's interesting for me why anyone would ever go to any place with that kind of an attitude. Yes, I understand that there are people that are there that take advantage of you. I get it. We've all been taken advantage of by somebody. We've had that bad experience, whether someone stole from us or they lied to us or we thought a program was such and such and it just ended up not being that way. So I understand why there could be skepticism. But I also understand that more healthy than skepticism is just a healthy curiosity, looking for the good and making sure that you're aware of potential red flags. But going into it skeptical, you're going to get what you get out of it, right? You're going to get out what you put into it. And so if you're here, unless someone has twisted your arm and put a gun to you and said that you have to be here, just relax. I'm not going to sell you anything. I can't sell you anything. You'll only buy if you find the value here, right? That's always the way it's going to be. So I invite you just to relax and let's learn some things. If you have questions, any questions as we're going through this, please feel free to raise your hand here in the room or go ahead and in our chat box, just enter a question. We've got someone moderating here tonight. So if you've got a question throughout the process, even if there's a delay and you kind of get it in late, we'll go back and we'll answer all of those questions at the end of the event. So please feel free to type those in. So again, why are you here? What is it that you want to create for yourself? What part of your life isn't as good as maybe you'd like it to be, or what would you like to create even better for yourself? Maybe you want to leave a legacy for your family. Maybe you want to create a great retirement for yourself, or maybe you just want to give yourself permission to live the life that you've always wanted to live. The neat thing about most of those things is it all kind of funnels down to finances for a lot of people. But the reality is it's not just about the money. It's not just about finances. It's about what that can do for us. Because if we're clear and we are able to create a financial situation where we have what we need, all of a sudden it creates something for us. It creates freedom. And we talk about financial freedom, but really financial freedom is nothing more than gaining more time freedom, correct? It's about gaining our time back. It's about not being compelled to go to work for somebody or some other dream. It's about being able to do what we want when we want. And really being able to live life inside of our passions. It's interesting for me that most of us will live this life and we'll go along this journey. And just to talk about this journey for a quick second, we'll start life, we'll go to college, right? We'll go to school. because we're told to, right? Usually, I mean, it's for most of us. Some of us really know what we want to do from an early age, and that's a very small percentage of us. But for most of us, we're just kind of starting off doing what we're told. Our parents tell us we have to go to school. Why do they tell us we have to go to school? Yeah, we got to go to school so we can get a good job, and hopefully we can get a job at like a mid-level position rather than an entry-level position, right? We can earn a little bit more money. And what's the whole purpose of that? Well, hopefully we want to earn well for ourselves and for our family. If it's, those of you that are interested in families, I am. When I got married, 9 months later we had our first son, okay? And then another 18 months later we had our second child, and pretty much 18 months thereafter, and in perpetuity it seemed like, we had 7 children. Okay, so we had our family very, very quickly. And with 7 children, I had gone through school and I graduated. I got into the workforce and I was starting to work my way up and doing some different things. But very, very quickly I realized it wasn't going to be enough. Very quickly. Most people don't realize it's that fast, right? Most people will kind of go through life and they'll work up the ladder, they'll get the home, they'll get the cars, they'll save for college, or hopefully, or when they get to the college age, they'll just scrape by and send them through college, right? And then we get to this place that we're hoping is going to look all amazing and beautiful, and this place looks like, we call it retirement. My question is retirement, when we get here, for most of us, is it what we really wanted it to be? No, for 97% of us, retirement looks completely different than what we had possibly imagined it to be. So why is that? Why do we continue to go along this journey and just kind of do what we're told when 97% of us at retirement don't have what it is that we want? Well, I just want to ask you some questions, and my goal here is it's not to change your mind, but it's to get you to think. It's time for us to think differently. If the system's broken, then why are we utilizing it still? Is there another way? Are there other systems that we can plug into? We've got to do things differently. One of my favorite sayings, and I don't remember now where I picked it up, so I'll just claim it as my own. I'm sure it was one of my mentors or something. But I learned this saying, and it really impacted me. It's that different isn't always better, right? So it's not just that we have to do something different, but better is always different, right? Different isn't always better, but better is always different. So we have to do better things. We have to find a better path. And one of the greatest ways to do that, I've found, is to find people that have been there and done that. People that have actually experienced what it is that I'm trying to experience, that have accomplished the things that I want to accomplish. And it's no different here. We're talking about real estate tonight. We're talking about creation, management, and protection and growth of wealth. And the only way that you can do that appropriately, because we're not taught these things in school. I took a finance class. I even took an investment class. I took all the different math classes and all I majored in international business, so we got some of those things. And I never learned how to truly grow my wealth. I just didn't get that. And my parents didn't know. I was raised in an extremely poor family. And I would say even for those that are raised in wealthy families, most of us just aren't taught these things. We just don't get this kind of an education. So we're going to get into how we do this, how we create, manage, protect, and grow this wealth, because it's important here. But before we do, I want to just make this clear. If 90% of American millionaires made their money in, any ideas? In real estate, right? So if 90% of American millionaires made their money in real estate, why aren't we all doing it? Like, what's holding us all back? We don't know how, right? I'll be honest with you. So many people and so many programs, if you turn on the TV, almost every other channel has some sort of flip this house, flip that house, flip these houses. I don't know. Put your word in the middle there. And they make it look so easy. But I'll tell you, when the average person goes out and tries to do it, I've heard the worst horror stories in the world. And we'll get into some of those a little bit later. But the real reason why most people aren't making their money in real estate right now is because they just don't know how to, right? It's because real estate truly is rocket science. It's difficult. There's so many moving parts, and the system itself is changing and fluctuating so rapidly that for you to stay on top of it, you've got to be the expert. Well, let me ask you a question. If you've never spent the 10,000 hours and done the thousands of deals in real estate, how hard is it to become that expert? It can cost you thousands, it can cost you millions, and it can cost you a lifetime just to get there, right? So most of us, because we're so busy doing this journey and working and working and working to try to get to some, mythical retirement, we don't even have the time to get into it. So we got to do something different. So I'm going to talk about financial freedom here. And I want you to think for just a second, what is your definition for financial freedom? And everyone online, what is your definition for financial freedom? Because I bet that whatever your definition is, I'm guessing that I've got one that could probably, and I hope, could encapsulate all of them. Because financial freedom does mean different things for everybody, correct? For one person, it could mean, being able to go travel. For someone else, it could mean having a specific income a month. Maybe no stress, right? No financial stress. So there's a lot of different things that it could mean for us. For me, financial freedom is really, really simple, okay? And it's just residual income exceeding expenses. That's it, right? That's financial freedom. Again, for all of us, it's going to be a little bit different. But I want to make sure that we understand something, because 97% of us don't have this concept, don't have residual income. So what is residual income? Well, it's income that's continuously generated after an initial investment of time, effort, and money, right? That's what it is. So it's income that just keeps coming to us after we do the thing once, whatever it is, right? So how do we get this residual income? Well, this is what we all need. And once we have it, obviously, we no longer have to go to work. Let me just show you a quick example here. I've got 3 examples, 3 different individuals. We've got maybe a doctor. She's earning $250,000 a year. We've got a contractor earning $86,000 a year. A teacher here earning $40,000 a year. All of them are at or above the average income for Americans, so they're all doing pretty good for themselves. I think at first glance, if you were to look at this, and maybe I'll speak for myself, if I'm to look at this first glance, and if I were to say who would I want to emulate the most, I'd probably say, oh man, of course, the doctor. I'd love to earn $250,000 a year. And by the way, look at her combined assets. She's got $450,000 of combined assets. She's done well. She's saved. She's done the thing that we should all be doing, right? She's probably putting her money in her 401k or her IRAs and paying down her home. Like, she's doing all these things. And let's not forget school debt, though. That's probably in there, too. She's got to pay that off, too, right? So, but you look at that, and at first glance, we say, man, if I could just be in her shoes, I'd be so much better off. Well, then we've got the contractor. He's doing well, $86,000 a year, great income. And he's got $1 million of raw land. Like, his net worth is $1 million. He's a millionaire, right? And then, of course, we've got the teacher, $40,000 in income, but she has something that the other 2 don't. She has 10 rental properties. Well, what does that give her? She has residual income, right? She has freedom. And I'll show you exactly why she has freedom, because if you look at this, these 10 properties are producing a $3,800 per month residual income. What's 3,800 times 12? I don't either, but it's more than her annual income, right? So she's earning in her residual income. If she were to lose her job today, if she could no longer go back to work, she has financial freedom. She can relax, right? She no longer has to go to work. But these 2, if something happened, first of all, let's go to the doctor. If something happened to her, she's used to living off of $250,000 a year. Now, in America, do we spend most of our money that we earn? Yeah, most of us are spending 100 to 110% of what we earn, right? So if she gets out of work or something happens and she gets sick or she can't go back to work for whatever reason, based on her combined assets, how long will she last? Maybe a couple years, maybe. And if she really downgrades and cuts all of her expenses in half, maybe she could last 4 years. It's not going to carry her very far, right? How about this guy? Well, he's got $1 million of raw land, but is that going to take him? How long could it take to liquidate that, first of all? It could take a long time. Like, who knows, right? And maybe he's got to, again, slash those prices like crazy just to do so. And how long is that going to last him? So the point is this residual income is the true power. Because if she stopped going to work tomorrow, her lifestyle wouldn't have to change. That's the true power of residual income. Okay? So residual income creates freedom. And it's the difference here. We're talking about the difference here between earned income, trading your time for money, time which, by the way, is your most valuable resource. So if it's your most valuable resource, we want to get as much of it back as we possibly can, right? So we need to stop doing this kind of earning, and focus on doing some other types of earning. We've got net worth, obviously, which net worth is great to have, but net worth has to be converted into cash flow. Net worth in and of itself isn't valuable necessarily, right? Unless it's paying us on a monthly basis. We've got a couple things here in these eggs, and if you can see them, I'm just going to point them out real quick. It says IRA, 401k, savings, and home equity, right? Savings is a little different because that's probably liquid unless you're in some sort of CD or bond or whatever else. But your home equity, your IRA and 401ks, do you realize that those aren't blessing you? Like, they're not really helping you. That IRA and 401k, do those pay you on a monthly basis? No. And if life emergency happens and when you want to pull some money out, what happens? You get taxed, you get penalized, they smack you on the wrist and say no. Why would you ever think of drawing your own money out? It's kind of weird, right? But we're taught to do these things. I have a friend of mine, his name is Garrett Gunderson. He wrote a book called Killing Sacred Cows. And it's a phenomenal book. And if you remember the story in the Bible, right? I'm not going to go into all the story, but the idea is they were worshiping these things, these sacred cows, right? They were worshiping these things that had no real value, weren't even based in truth, right? So my question for you, and the reason why I'm asking these questions is to get you to think a little bit differently. What have we been buying into for all these years that just are sacred cows that we need to kill, or we need to get rid of them? 401ks and IRAs, are they working for us? Are they providing us with a true retirement? Absolutely not. Can they be a good bucket in the meantime while we don't know what we're doing? Yeah, of course. But when we learn new things, J.B. Shea was a French economist, and he said, creating wealth is nothing more than taking your assets from areas of low yield and putting them into areas of higher yield. That's it. Pretty simple, isn't it? We're just taking the money that's not working as well for us and putting it into areas where it will work better for us, right? So this is what we're talking about. Right now, a lot of us have our money in areas that aren't working very well for us. So we're going to show you how to take those areas and put it into places that will work much better for us and create a residual income, where we get to earn more money. Yes, thank you. So this is what we're talking about. So again, think about it. If you stopped working today, how long could you last before you had to go back to work? Right? 1 week? A month? 6 months? I don't know. Right? Where the majority of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, then you stop getting that next paycheck, and all of a sudden you realize life stops. Like you got to, things are getting heated up. We got to do something really quick. So this is what we're here to talk about. Now, if you were to try to generate a $5,000 per month residual income, okay, and I'm just going to assume that you were able to get a 4% annual dividend on that money, how much money would you need to accumulate? Like what pile would you need to grow? Any ideas? Almost $2 million. $1.5 million, okay? So $1.5 million, if you had accumulated this stack of money, and again, I don't mean to beat a dead horse, but for the average American that's spending 100 to 110% of what they're earning, we're going into debt as a society, right? How realistic is this? Over whatever amount of time? It's not, right? People just aren't saving. So we've got to bridge the gap somewhere. We've got to create a different scenario. And let me just put this into perspective for just a second. In order to accumulate $1.5 million over a 20-year time frame, let's just assume we all have 20 years to play around and we can accumulate this money, okay? In order to accumulate $1.5 million, you would need to save $1,798 every single month for 20 years straight, okay? And have it invested at a 10.8% interest rate, compounding every single year for those 20 years. Now, I don't know very many people that are getting a 10.8% interest rate or higher unless they're associated with Strongbrook. I just don't. I know a lot of people that say that they think that they can, or they're playing the stock market and they claim these big numbers. But the stock market's interesting. And if I just want to take a little quick tangent, because I think this is also important to understand. Have we all talked to a stockbroker at some point or another, or thought about maybe going into the stocks? Here's what I love. It's a love-hate relationship. This is what I don't like about financial planners. Oftentimes when they're trying to earn your money, right? They're telling you to put your money with them. They'll place it in the stock market. It's going to be fantastic. And they go through the numbers like this. They say, let's say that you put $100 in, and the stock market took a dive, a 50% dive. Okay, how much money would you have left of that $100?
50.
You'd have $50. Okay. So you'd have $50 left of that initial 100, okay? Now, what if the stock market took a 75% increase? Where would your $50 be now?
75. 84.
I don't know. I don't do math in my head. But it would. But the point is, you dipped 50%, got down to 50. You went up 75%. 50% of this is $25 plus another 12%. So it's like, let's see, what is that? So this would be 86 something, right? 86 or $87. So all of a sudden, you're left with $87. Now here's the interesting thing, because most of us don't think about this. They're just running numbers really quickly, and they're saying, hey guys, the stock market goes down 50%, but what if it goes right back up 75%? And in our minds, without going through the math, because they don't include these numbers, right? They say, yeah, the stock market will drop, and then it'll go way back up, and it'll drop again. It doesn't add up. It doesn't bring it back into stasis, right? It doesn't bring it back to where it should be or the normal. It doesn't get you back your $100.
So I might think, if I'm just looking at those numbers, that I'm at 125.
You may think that you're at 125% of where you were, but you're not.
I'm not.
Not even close. This is why the stock market can be so tricky for so many people, and why they might think that it's great, but the reality is it's just not getting them where they want to go. They're just not earning the money. So, moving right along, we've got to do something different. We've got to bridge the gap, and this is the one thing that Strongbrook does extremely well. And no matter where I am, I know that people in this group we've got two different options for you, right? We've got our option oneers who want to learn it and do it themselves. And then I've got the option twos here that want to learn it and have it done for them. Tracy Roberts is an option twoer. Actually, I don't even know if he wants to learn it. but we teach him anyway.
I just want.
But we teach him anyway. I know Tracy's been with us for a number of years. That's right. Option twoer, right? Learn it and we will do it for you. Because Tracy wants to do what he wants to do. He's not passionate about real estate. Although Tracy is taking advantage of real estate and it's working very well for him, he's not the guru. He doesn't want to become that guy that's swinging the hammer and making the deals and doing it himself. He's found a system where he doesn't have to do it himself. Now, on the other hand, there are a lot of people that want to, and that's okay. We've got options for everybody. So I want to just get into this real quick. Let's start with option one. We've got what we call our PSA Academy. These are quarterly trainings. And these quarterly trainings really are all about how to do this real estate on your own, how to do the no money down deals, right? How to transact big deals in your backyard with big equity. How to identify the best markets. Right? There are 350 some odd major markets in the U.S., not to mention all the different sub-markets underneath those. So how do we know where to actually go? Where are the best deals found? How to get paid thousands for bird dog networking without a license? How money is really made when flipping deals? We talked about flipping, right? Our company's flipped over 1,000 deals successfully. Right? Do you want to learn how to really do it? And also learn the pitfalls that can come if you're not careful, right? We teach how to do that as well, a whole lot more, but on top of that, we give you access to different things, private money funds and industry experts, insider tips and tricks, money-making events, networking with other members that are part of the PSA Academy who want to do more deals. One of the things that I found is that no matter where you are in your investment career, you're always going to run out of your money at some point and your credit at some point, right? Well, you get to have a space of rebuilding, whatever that is. When you run out of your money and your credit, does that mean you have to stop doing real estate? No, not if you're networked with a group of individuals that are all interested in doing the same type of real estate. Then if you're out of money and they're out of credit, you guys get to come together and continue to partner on deals and move forward and grow your portfolio. There is such a powerful thing that happens when our clients get together because they get to move forward where everyone else feels like they're stopped and they get to grow their portfolios exponentially. So actual live deals that we do for purchase at these events, first rights to access. This is something that's not available yet, but it will be soon, I hope. There's been a lot of litigation that's been happening recently with crowdfunding and taking the concept of crowdfunding into real estate. If you know what crowdfunding is, it's a lot of people sourcing their funds, and usually you see it in the Kickstarter world, like with people starting businesses and things like that. They'll crowdfund those businesses. For the first time, hopefully, and we think that's going to be available soon, we'll be able to do this. Now, we've been doing it sort of on a different level with accredited investors for the last several years. But this is something where you don't have to be an accredited investor. And for someone that doesn't have a down payment on a home, who maybe only has $500 or $1,000 to put into an investment of some sort, they can still take advantage of the wonderful numbers that we're able to do here at Strongbrook and start to grow the wealth that they do have, right? We're all starting from somewhere. So we get to help more and more people there and more as well there. So that's our do-it-yourself. We teach people all those different things, how to do it themselves, and how to really succeed in real estate. But at the end of the day, one of our biggest passions is real estate, and it's helping people to be able to do what they're passionate about while we do what we are passionate about, right? And we get to help them take advantage of what we call facilitated or done for you type of real estate. The option tours here, the learn it and we do it for you. So Strongbrook, we have a group of over 200 experts that go to work and help build your portfolio. And the neat thing about the system is we give you 100% of the profit and 100% of the benefit while we do 100% of the work. Does that sound fun? Does it sound too good to be true?
Yeah.
Start killing those sacred cows, okay? Nothing is too good to be true, okay? It is true. And I will say we're also capitalists, so we will make money, I promise, okay? We just don't make it on your home. These are your properties. I'll talk about how we make money as a company as well. But the reality for all of this is it has to start with a game plan. This game plan is so crucial. Remember we talked about this journey that we went on, where we started with school, job, and then retirement that we never wanted kind of thing, right? That's where most people are on. Do you realize why we come out of this whole scenario, this whole journey, why we come out of a retirement that we don't want? Why does that happen? Yeah, I think we follow the crowd. We don't plan. That too. We don't plan it appropriately. Like, has anyone ever built a home in here? Like built one or had one built for them? I did. And when I built my first home, it was a really neat experience because I got to go through the whole process, right? You pick your plans, you pick your lot, right? Well, I picked my lot first, and then I picked my plans. But anyway, you can't really start building. Like I didn't just go to Home Depot and grab nails and wood and start throwing it together, right? I had to have a plan. And that plan was so crucial because the plan helped me to know exactly where the walls were going to go and the HVAC system and the electrical system and the plumbing and the roof, and everything was right there in the plan, right? Now, at any point during that plan, could I have gone to my architect and said, hey, will you move this over here, or I'd like the sink to be over there instead? And could the architect have paused there and redrawn it up, right? And yeah, absolutely. He could have redrawn up the plan, given it back to the general contractor, and could have gone forward, right? We could have gone on with the plan. And then built a beautiful home. The problem for most people is they don't start out their financial journeys with a plan. We don't build our financial houses the way we do our real houses, right? But if we had, at the very beginning, from right here, starting off, I knew that I wanted $5 million or whatever it was by retirement, so that I could live off of that interest and have a wonderful retirement, right? If I knew that's what I needed and wanted, then at this point I could inquire, I could bring a mentor into my life, and I could say, okay, how do I actually do this, and what are the steps that I need to take? And knowing those steps, if I ever got off track or anything, I could see it and course correct. Am I right? Instead of just taking life as it comes, that's what most of us do, right? We just kind of take life as it comes, and then we wonder why we ended up somewhere where we don't want to be, instead of planning to get there appropriately, right? So this game plan is crucial. It is the starting point for every single one of our clients. Before they ever get started with us, they come and have a custom game plan so that we can say, look, this is where we see that you are right now, and here are the options that match up. Do you like it or not? And one of two things happens every time. Either they like it or they don't, right? One of those two things happens every single time. Either they like it or they don't. And we're okay, right? We're not here to twist anyone's arm. We're just here to give options. One of the biggest things that I've recognized also is that most of us are equipped in this life with a ton of blind spots, just things that we just don't know. And so we're making, for lack of a better phrase, we're making a lot of blind decisions. We're just going through life because we don't have all of the information and options. Well, here at Strongbrook, the reason why we put this game plan into place, and this is a highly valuable consultation, the reason why we offer it to everybody for free is because we recognize that in order for us to be able to help somebody, in order for us to be able to provide clarity to some of those blind spots, we need to just help them see what it is, help them see what their options are. So that's what we provide. Now, getting into the real estate, this is what we do on the done for you side. We find the homes. We buy them, we fix them, we help you get the proper financing on them. Then we lease them out for you, we manage it, maintain it for you, and then we sell it for you. Now, understand, we are going to earn money, like I said before. We earn about 5% the typical transaction fees that you would get because we own the companies that support the process. We own the real estate brokerage, the mortgage brokerage, and we own the insurance companies and a number of different companies that facilitate that process. So when you start with us, we get you in line with your personal coach. And your personal coach is going to help you, first of all, design your custom game plan. Again, most important thing right there, right? Number two, educate you on the growth and income markets. Where are we going to be doing this real estate? Help you identify, access, and leverage those assets. Kind of like what Shea said, right? Taking them from low yield to high yield. Find and present the deals that fit your game plan, facilitate the financing, and then you're making the decisions. We're just executing for you. We're facilitating that execution, okay? So really what we do is we give you access to the best equity growth, cash flowing properties in the hottest markets. We specialize in a short-term buy and hold strategy with single family homes. Okay, yeah, excellent. Is that yours? Okay, just making sure, because that is a real home that we've done. Bought below the median, okay? Very strict parameters. And here's the wonderful thing about strict parameters is it helps us to maximize profits as much as possible and to minimize those risks. Now, this is real estate. It is investing. Can we get rid of all risk? No, absolutely not. There's inherent risk in every investment, no matter what it is. But what we can do is create a larger margin of safety. How many of you have heard of Warren Buffett? Raise your hand. Okay, so you know who Warren Buffett is. So Warren Buffett teaches a specific investment philosophy. He says, I don't do anything unless it has a large margin of safety. And usually when he's evaluating companies or stocks, that means that their physical assets outweigh what they're asking for, right? Like the value actually will outweigh what it is that he's going to purchase it for. Well, when you look at what we do, that's exactly what we're doing here in real estate, is we're looking at margins of safety. How do we minimize that risk level? And most of us, actually, when we go into investing, we don't think that way. Literally, our thinking is opposite of what Warren Buffett's thinking is. Because our thinking says, in order for me to get a really high return on my investment, I have to experience a lot of risk, right? Most of us think that way. High return equals high risk. Well, Warren Buffett says, no, I don't want any of that. For me, high return has to equal large margin of safety or lowest risk possible. It's interesting to me that that difference in philosophy, is that potentially the only thing that's keeping him financially freer than most of us? Is that he thinks differently? I mean, just another sacred cow possibly. Just think about it. So what we do for people, though, is we help them to get into one home the right way. If I can help you purchase one home the right way, I can help that home then purchase your next home. And then I can help those homes purchase your next several homes. And I'm talking about not necessarily having to come out of your back pocket with more and more, right? I'm talking about letting your home and your real estate multiply for itself. Do what it's supposed to do, which is grow in a way that no other investment can. Real estate can grow dynamically. I can take $1 and put it into this property, and then have that dollar, I could go into my wallet right now, and I could pull out a dollar bill, right? And I could put that dollar bill right here. Now here's the neat thing about dollar bills in real estate is they multiply. So let me just do this real fast here. This is fun, okay? So I can put a dollar here, and then I can refinance it, can't I? So here's the fun thing about when I refinance that dollar. Do I still own that home?
Yes.
So I refinance it, but that dollar is still working for me there, right? So I can take that dollar now, I can put it over here, can't I? Now I've got these $2. They're working for me. I can refinance those $2. They're still there working, but now I can put them over here as well. Correct? So real estate can do something for me that no other investment can do, which is it can grow, and it can grow in multiple locations at the same time. You can't do that in stocks, right? You can't even leverage in stocks, much less have your dollar in multiple places, right? So this is a lot of fun, and one of the reasons that we love real estate so much. If you look at what we do, and this is kind of a chart of our 20-year outlook for just an average client, right? If they were to come in the first year and buy just 2 homes, and you look at this growth over 20 years, over 20 years, I can help you turn those 2 homes into 13 paid off, free and clear properties. That means for you that you'd have a net worth of approximately $1.8 million and a cash flow. Again, net worth isn't as important, right? But the cash flow, you could have a cash flow of $132,000 a year. Now, with $132,000 a year cash flow, can we start to think about retirement a little bit differently?
Yes.
Can we start to think about financial freedom in a whole new light? Absolutely. Absolutely. So, we talked about strict parameters, and just to show you a couple of our strict parameters here, this is just our track record on the last 1,000 deals. And if you look at it, we've got a lot of great information here. I'm not going to go through all of it specifically, but just take a look. We know what the average purchase price is, average square foot, year built, equity, return on investment, your cash and cash ROI, the purchase price, property rehab, vacancy. This is a huge one for me. This average vacancy, if I know going into a property that I only have 42.4 days a year that's on average that it will be vacant, can I plan appropriately for it, right? In real estate, by the way, it's not a matter of if something's going to happen. It's a matter of when. And knowing how to properly plan for it. Real estate is a business just like any other business. And where most people falter in real estate is they plan on the income, but they forget to plan on the expenses, right? And they don't work that into their equation. Well, we do that extremely well at Strongbrook because we have done thousands of deals. And so I can look at this and say, okay, well, it's not about if the toilet goes out, or it's when. So how much is that going to cost? Well, let's plan for it. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever, do you have kids? Everyone have kids? Okay, we all have kids. If you've got kids and they go to birthday parties, like I said, I've got 7 children. My oldest is 12, my youngest is 2. And I feel like I have like 368 birthday parties a year that I'm sending my children to. It seems that way, right? And I could either go through life and every time a new birthday came up, I could say, oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting that. That's another $20 I'm going to have. I didn't plan for it. Or I could just say, oh, my kids are really popular and they're going to go to 368 birthdays this year. So that 368 times 20, whatever that ends up being, I need to put that away this year for birthdays. I can plan for it, right? So can we plan better for our real estate? Absolutely. And if we do so, then we all of a sudden start seeing this weird concept of profitable real estate, especially when you're doing it the right way, the way that Strongbrook does it. So again, we start you with a game plan, right? Connect you with your project manager. They help you leverage a team of experts. We access the best properties. We facilitate the funding, fixing, leasing, and management of those properties. We then, by the way, because once you've got a portfolio that's growing, do you want some small thing to knock it all out for you? Right? Do you want some small incident or some lawsuit or whatever to take it away? Absolutely not. So we help you get the proper and comprehensive asset protection in place. And then it's just kind of a rinse and repeat as you're expanding in your portfolio, buying and selling different properties, and you're just kind of going around the circle again, right? So that's what we do for our clients. So again, we've got these 2 different options. And what I don't know for all of you is which one's right for you. I don't know if you're an option 1er or if you're an option 2er, but either way, we've got options for you. And that's one of the things I love about our program so much is that we do provide different things for every person from every walk of life. These are what's called our professional service agreements. These help you both learn and do the real estate, okay? Or we can do it for you. But let me just start here with our first one. This is our essentials. This allows you to do 1 home with us and attend at least one of our academy events, one of those quarterly events. We then have our empowerment, which allows you to do up to 4 homes and attend up to 2 academy events. Our elite professional service agreement allows you to do up to 10 homes with us and up to 8 academy events. And then our unlimited, of course, is unlimited for both. So those of you that feel and know that you're going to grow a much larger portfolio, this is by far our most popular. So our education and our done-for-you real estate programs range anywhere from $500 and $99 a month on up to $30,000. So we've got everything in between, lots of different options. One of the things that I love about this program, and I can only speak from my experience, okay? Years ago, I worked for a company that sold real estate education, and that's all they did. They only sold education. And I think education can be extremely powerful for the people that will use it. I've learned, though, that most people won't use it. I've known so many people that have bought education packages upwards of $60,000 just for education. And I mean, let's just get real. How many of us have gone to college? Anybody go to college? Okay, no, some of us. Okay, you known someone that's gone to college? Okay, good. Okay, maybe that's a more appropriate question. All right, and no, I don't care. Just so you know, I'm not judging here. I only finished college because I felt like I had to, and had I done it again, I probably would never have gone to college because I have never used anything I've learned there. But anyway, that's a side note. Tangent. Sorry, tangent. But think about college for a second. So many people go to college because they're told to. They have no idea what they're going to do. The first 2 years are kind of a wash. They change their major several times. Finally, they end in college, and most of them still don't use it. And how much money does the average person spend on a college degree? Any ideas? Yeah, it's somewhere in the $40,000 to $50,000 range, right? Exactly my point. And you can spend a whole lot more. I know people that went and got their law degree and aren't using their law degree. And you can spend a couple $100,000 on a law degree. So the point is we're spending money on education that's doing nothing for us. So many people do that. One of the things that I love about our program is we do have an educational component, but it's not meant to ever stop there. For the people that want to take the educational component and run with it, they will be able to and they can. For those people that are passionate about real estate and want to put on the tool belt and swing the hammer, and they learn to do it from us the right way, they'll have success if they'll implement it. And at the same time, I also know people that just will never do it. And so when they end up not doing it, guess what? They get to actually do real estate with us. Do you know what the industry average is for people that buy those programs. In our company, people that would spend anywhere from $5,000, not my company, the other company I used to work for, people that would spend between $5,000 and $60,000, you know how many of them would actually go off and do successful real estate?
5%.
Less than 2%. Okay? And it didn't matter how much they spent. Like that was no bearing on it. Less than 2% of them would actually see any kind of success. So the thing that I love about our company, and I know I'm sitting up here kind of tooting my own horn just a little bit, but I'm really passionate about what we do. And I've seen the results of what we do. And if there's anything, the proof is in the pudding, right? For any one of these companies. The reality is our clients love what they've been able to do because it works. And it works again, and it works again. And that's why 60% of the homes that we do in any given year are from our repeat clients. They're coming and they're doing it again and again and again as much as they possibly can because it's working for them. So at the end of the day, what everyone here needs and what everyone here hopefully will want is a free customized game plan. Guys, this isn't marriage, okay? This is just a first step for you to unveil and unlock and get rid of some of those blind spots to figure out more of the options that could work for you. For anyone that's here online as well as in the room, the way that you can go and sign up for your free game plan is just to go onto this website right here. You will need the username from the individual that invited you, okay? So whoever it was that invited you, either they can have you fill out a form, which they can give you right now as well, or you can go right on to here to www. Their username, whatever that might be, .strongbrook, oops, I shouldn't do that anymore, .strongbrook.com/SB, as in Strongbrook, SB, /gameplan.html. Okay, Carson, could you put that in that link in the chat box real quick? So again, username.strongbrook.com/SB/gameplan.html. Okay, thank you everyone. I'd love to just open it up for any questions that anyone might have. Carson, are there any questions online?
Not yet.
Any questions here? I guess I covered it phenomenally. I'll just wait just a minute because we have a little bit of a delay online and see if we've got any questions there.
The game plan, too, is to help people realize that they can do it. A lot of people don't
Absolutely.
have the money to do it.
Absolutely.
And that's what I think is so important about the game plan. It
Yeah.
helps them realize, hey, I can really do this.
Thanks for saying that. You know, I've one of the biggest things, I think one of the most frequent takeaways from a game plan that I've heard is that people just coming away from it saying, I had no idea that I had those options. Like I had no idea that I could actually do that. Wiley Benson, who a lot of you have seen, and she comes up and speaks all the time, she was going in the hole like $1,700 a month, didn't know what to do, was kind of had jumped from job to job doing different things, and definitely didn't think that she'd ever be able to do real estate. She came to us, she earned a lot of money very quickly with us, and she started investing very, very quickly. She actually purchased the Elite PSA, or excuse me, the Unlimited. And started doing some amazing things. We were able to help her see just options that she just, again, were blind spots to her. As a matter of fact, Tracy, would you come up for just a minute? I got Tracy Roberts here, and before I have him speak, I just want to give him a proper introduction. Tracy Roberts is lovingly known as the pastor of prosperity. He is the deacon of dollars, the cardinal of cash flow. Now, just an amazing individual. Tracy Roberts grew up actually very similar to me in a very, very poor situation. I won't tell your whole story, but if you'll just talk about maybe just quickly, your background very fast, and then what we've been able to help you do here at Strongbrook.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
And you know what, Stephen, when I was looking at the game plan that you got, from the time over 4 years ago when I was first working with you, a game plan, I'm going to tell you how powerful the game plan was. It was on a yellow legal pad.
That's right.
And they started doing some numbers and drawing, and they were looking at what my situation was. And on a yellow legal notepad, I was able to see a vision that was going to change my life. And now you've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars developing something that where you can actually show the statistics and everything behind what you're doing. And the game plan, if you haven't ever gotten one, then it is just the information that you're going to leave with. All of a sudden, for me, it's incredible. We had the ability to do something when we started with Strongbrook, but the important thing for me was that they weren't giving me some in-the-box game plan, like trying to fit me into some box. They took my situation. And with my situation, they said, here's what I would do. Here's a cool thing when you're sitting down with a multimillionaire, and all of a sudden he's saying, I don't know what you would do, but if I were in your shoes, if I'm in your shoes, here's what I'm going to do right now. These would be the steps I would take. And I looked at them and I said, multimillionaire, my broke Uncle Billy over here. I'm going to listen to the millionaire. And all of a sudden I did. And now my wife and I, we have 7 investment properties. And because of that, I now get to be free. 3 years ago, my job at the sheriff's office quit me because I'd hurt my knee and I didn't have 20 years in, so I had 16 years. I was 4 years short. So they said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to engrave your gun. We're going to make you a big cake with a star on it. And we're going to kick you out the door and say, good luck. And when you're 65, we'll give you a pension then. And I was like, but I was supposed to, they told me I was supposed to go to college. And after I go to college, then I'm supposed to get a good job. And my daddy told me to get a government job because the government job will give you a pension. And so I followed that instruction. And then when I got the government job, then they told me you need to invest in a 401k and IRA, and we'll actually match your money. And so I was just like, I'm going to do all of that. And I did all of that, and I did all of that. And then I found some other mentors, and they told me to get out of debt. Debt's evil. And I did everything that I was instructed to, and then my job quit me. And had I not had Strongbrook in my life, if I wouldn't have had Stephen Miller and Chris Crone in my life, then I would have been in trouble. But because they had helped me set up some things, then when he shows that mailbox, I love that picture. That's my favorite, one of my favorite pictures in the whole world, because it represents mailbox money. When I'm taking my family on a cruise in December, because we go, or we're sitting in a condo in Florida for 2 weeks on the beach, then I'm getting paid the whole time. Because right now, I'm getting paid. Not by Strongbrook directly, but because they've helped me set up things. So now, because I'm free, and I breathe free air, and I've experienced the bliss of emancipation. Because I've experienced that, and I'm no longer a slave, I get to do whatever's on my heart. And I just dropped my wife off for some big girls' night that she was doing. And as I was pulling away, just down the street, then I got a text that says Stephen Miller is live right now. And because I was in the area, I said, you know what, Stephen Miller has changed my life. And he's actually made it so that I was able to be free. And I turned my car around, and I said, I'm going to Strongbrook tonight, because I want to support him, because he supported me, and the company that he helped set up and build has made a difference in my world. And now I get to do what I want, when I want, with whomever I want, and however long I want. One of my good friends, Reverend Jackson, down in Texas, he's holding a big conference. In a couple of days, I'm going to drive down to Texas and be with Reverend Jackson. Why? Because he asked me, could I be there? And I said, yes, I can be there. And so that's what freedom means to me. And that's what I hope, that's why I come anytime, because I want people to experience the same freedom that I've experienced. And it's sweet, and it tastes good, and it's a nice breath to breathe.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Big round of applause here for Tracy, please. I love hearing from Tracy always. But everyone, thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and wrap up. At the end of the day, grab your game plan. It's really simple. Go on to this link. Make sure you get the username from the person that invited you here. And if you have any questions, we'd love to answer. Any questions from online, Carson? We're good? Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh yeah. So why you keep playing?